How we doing?
What's up, gangsta? How you doing?
Oh, very good. Okay, let's begin, boys. Oh, sorry, hang on. I've got to get the host back from someone. So today we're going to cover what will probably be the most popular topic, which is going to be on how to make money. I'm going to break it down in autistic detail for everyone here. So I'm going to give you an understanding of how to make money better than you've ever had it before, in probably a 4-part series, so 4 hours of training on how to make money starting from today. We're going to start with step 1, a more powerful money mindset. This is going to cover a lot of the things that we've already spoke about recently with willpower, but it's important that we just cover it along with this so we have like a concise series for just this topic. Let's do some drawing, shall we? As always, be active in the chat. I've got it open. So if you want to like ask questions and stuff and you want to give your input, your opinions, it's always nice when students do that. So if I explain something and you have like a nice thought about it, maybe a question or anything, that helps me understand where you are at as well. So we spoke before that as a man, the journey of your life is pretty much just to try and figure out what this core desire is inside of you. There was like a reason why you were born. If we can fulfill this core desire, this purpose, this desire, this reason why we were born. I just spelled desire, bro. God damn. Desire, there you go. If you can fulfill this, apparently you get to live a very beautiful life. Pure presence, you act as love, you get to love a woman into light. This is the journey of masculinity. Issue is obviously that the modern world has put other desires around our core desire, and before you know it, your parents have told you that you need good grades, your teachers have told you that you need good grades, you should act like this, you just study fucking religious studies and geography and like whitewashed history, which makes your country seem like in a really good. We've all learned different versions of history. How mad is that? Like we've all learned that, like, oh yeah, our country did really, really well in that war. Like they don't tell you that your country had fucking slaves, bro. So this is what your heart looks like right now. This is the reason why you were brought onto this earth, to fulfill this one core desire. And it could be to teach, it could be to help a certain kind of person, it could be to be a certain type of person, but you won't know what it is because there's these other desires, and before you know it, right now you're focused on this random business model that someone on YouTube is telling you to do, and you're trying to become a YouTuber, and you're trying to, save up for a Bugatti. Now we've covered this, but this is just important to just re-clarify. As I was writing the points for this, it just hit me how sad normal life is for people when you think about the fact that this layer, let's say this outer layer right here, the most outer layer, the one that the majority of men and women focus on and spend their entire lives trying to fulfill, what is it? What is one of the biggest desires that someone might spend their entire life trying to fulfill but not even fulfill it? Exactly. Money. I would argue the majority of people will stay stuck in this desire. There's other ones as well, of course. There's, they still want a social life, they still want to have sex, but this is the one where most people will dedicate the majority of their life to. And you know what the worst part about this is? They won't even fulfill it. They won't even peel back this one fucking layer. So their entire life is dedicated to making money, and they don't even accomplish that goal. Think about how sad that is. They don't even get close to navigating the purpose layers to their core desire. Just stuck on this. This is really sad, but type 1 if this is your father, your mother, everyone in your family. This layer. Not many people will ever fulfill it. Which is very, very sad, because once you do start to peel back these layers, your life really does get beautiful. Once you've peeled back the money layer, it's like suddenly you're getting physiotherapy for the knee that's had, you know, like a 2 out of 10 pain for all of your life. And you're imagining for your dad, like, you know, he had some sports injury from 20 years ago. Suddenly, after he's penetrated the money layer, if he ever does it, that's when he can, like, turn his attention to his knees, like, to his own physical body. That's when he can, like, literally, sorry for the visualization, but, like, go and get the lump on his balls checked out. It's like he's had bloody shits, bloody poops for years. But he's not going to do it when he needs to wake up early for money. Next layer for most people. And of course, you know, the new layer gets formed above that when there's an emergency and it's like, oh yeah, doctor's telling you that, you know, you need to get this checked out and everything. But for most people, it's just stuck like this, which I just find really super sad. And I'm very happy that we are some of the enlightened ones with the knowledge to traverse these layers. So we want to fulfill this layer. So now, I'm assuming everyone here is not going to act in the way that we'd assume, but when I speak about this on YouTube, what I'm going to say is, okay, think about all the things you want to use money for. Why do you want money? Think about the car. That's such a shit to remember. Oh yeah, the car. Think about the watch. What do you want money for? Anyone here still got, just be honest, anyone got some materialistic desires still? Just be totally honest, I've still certainly got some as well. So just, what are they? Just write them down. We got travel. I've still got them, so obviously don't pretend like, oh yeah, I'm totally, you know, I don't have any desires. Mine is, for example, is like a nice house, big house. You know, I'm going to have a big family, so we should have like a big house there. Moving out as well, we'll say, okay, house. Upgrading the car, okay, one level higher. Traveling. You know, that's interesting. That look how many are all the same. It's very interesting that everyone's wrote house, travel, and car. These actually are your probably your 3 biggest expenses. Any other ones? Clothes. Okay, so we got like some clothes, some watches. Someone said shoes as well. This is what we want to spend our money on. You want to hear some good advice? Forget all of it. Just for some time, forget all of it. Because you see, there's 2 types of young people, isn't there? There's the people who, for example, are making no progress in making money at all. Be honest, if this is you, type 1. Pretty much no progress, flipping around business model to business model. You've known about the concept of making money for quite some time now, and it's actually frustrating the fact like your bank balance genuinely isn't growing. Then there's the young people who are actually making some considerable progress, genuinely like money in the bank. It doesn't have to be a lot, but money in the bank. Type 2 if you're here, 1 if you're here. There's a very distinct personality and mindset difference between these kinds of people, which is what I found. Anyone know what it is? It's actually the same as the guys who repel girls away from them and the guys who attract women. What is it? There's 2 words we could add, like 1 word each we could add. Yeah, we've got one of them, neediness, Nathan said. But there's actually slightly different words we could use. What kind of mindset do these guys have here? Why are they needy? Because they've got a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset, abundance mindset. This is the issue. This is why most of the brown people who go down the usual like stereotypical businesses don't make much money at all. I see massive scarcity mindset in immigrants, Pakistanis, Indians, even Chinese. A lot of them bring like scarcity mindsets, which you can understand why, because they've had to go through major trials and tribulations. But they'll do like they will try to save £1 as bad as possible, without realizing that spending an hour to save £2 when they make £8 an hour is actually foolish. But it's the scarcity mindset. What I've found consistently in the young people who actually make progress in making money, it's only after they start to adopt an abundance mindset. You can still have abundance with a bit of fear. You can still be fearful. You can still be anxious. You can still think like, oh man, you know, like, okay, we've got to We've got to take this seriously. I'm making money. Who knows when it's going to disappear? That's actually very important. That's just humility. That's very good. So when I'm thinking about abundance, for example, I just thought of Alex Hormozy, and he said, like, for the first few years, even though he was making hundreds of thousands, he still had like this fear that it could be gone at any moment. That's actually kind of good. But the scarcity is like overvaluing the dollar, thinking that the $1 is a lot. Because if you think it's a lot, you can't make that much, right? How much is too much for you to make? I know this sounds silly, but like type in a number, let's say per month. How much is like actually, and be reasonable, how much is like too much for you? Don't be silly and like, 17 million. But for most of the people here per month, if you're actually being honest, it's probably about 1 or 2K. We're seeing some big numbers, but if you were like, I'd say for the like 90% of the students here, if you started making suddenly 5K a month, you might start like just feeling weird and anxious. It might be too high above your own self-image. It's very interesting. There's, if you look at some of the old school books, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn's like public speaker. So if you look at some of his lectures, you can find them all on YouTube. They always give the same example of the 5,000 a year salesman. It's a very good example. Anyone heard of this before in like these old school business books? The 5,000 a year salesman. What they talk about is the power of your self-image, what you believe would be the upper ends of how much money you can make. And they give examples of like, they call him the 5,000 a year salesman. He makes 5K a year, he's got potential, and he's given a promotion, he's given a better area to sell in. Let's say it's a door-to-door sales company. And they send him to an even better, affluent, rich area. Okay, you've got potential, you're going to make a lot of money. He makes 5,000 a year. The next year, he gets sick for months and months and months, and he's out of work, and he's slow. He ends the year making 5,000. Obviously, we can say this is like 50,000. This is using examples from like 100 years ago, probably. He ends the year on the same amount. Very interesting, isn't it? Why is he making roughly the same amount? Why have you made roughly the same amount for a very long time, whether it's 0 or whatever number it is? Why has our fathers made within like a 20% range for the last 30 years? Because of self-image. Because it would feel odd. It would feel like you're defying your perception of yourself if you made more or less than that. Let's say for the guys who've started to make some money now, like, there's a few people who were typing before. Just type 1 if you're consistently making more than $5,000 a month. Type 1. I don't expect there to be too many. For these guys right now, for the same guys who've just typed 1, if your money went straight to 0, you'd probably, like, correct me if I'm wrong, you'd probably get it back to 5K, like, fairly quickly, like 10 times faster than it took you to get there again, right? It would feel weird if you went to 1K a month again, right? Even though 1K a month is still like, it's still kind of nice, but it would go below your range of like what you deem acceptable for yourself. And we have this range with everything, with how much money we make, with how ungroomed we'll let ourselves be. Once you get to a certain point, that's when you go for the haircut. That, some people's range can be super high up. Some people's range can be very, very like broad like this. But you have this kind of range for your standards for everything. The issue is our range for our standards for how much money we make is actually fairly low. Because this lower end, we're okay with not making much. We're okay with, some of us are okay with not showering every day, not brushing our teeth every day. Who's been there at some point in your life where your range is so low of your hygiene, where like, it's actually somewhat acceptable for you to not shower every day? I'll type 1 in the chat right now. A lot of young men have been there, right? Because the range was too broad and it was too low there. So I've said, when you visualize all these things that we want, the house, the travel, the car, anything else in this list, forget all of them for now. Because when you go into this season of your life where you want to actually fulfill this money layer, if you come with it with expenses, if you come with it with these desires that everyone else does, you're gonna probably get the same kind of results as everyone else, right? Everyone wants these things. You saw everyone's answer was the exact same. Literally, like, we like to believe we're like unique people. You answered exactly how mediocre people answer. It's the exact same question. So if you've got the same desires as mediocre people, but we don't, we almost look down on them and think they don't even know about self-improvement. They don't even read books or educate themselves. It's kind of stupid, right? So why do we have the same desires as them? This isn't to say that we never actually want these things, but to keep them in mind right now makes you weak. It makes you need money. When you need money, when you have this scarcity mindset, that's when it becomes so much harder to make money. What you need right now, just for now, this, eventually you're still going to, of course, buy the house. But what I'm saying is, if you destroy the desire, like this, that kind of vague goal in your mind, or the vague image of your mind of like, yeah, when I make money, that's when I'll get these things. If you just destroy that and think to yourself, one of the most powerful mindsets you can have, I don't need money. If you can adopt this mindset, you will stand out. I don't need money. Now, of course, if you're in a situation where you absolutely objectively do, you're in an unsafe environment and you need like 1,000 a month to move out and stuff, fine. If, for example, your mother commutes, taking public transport to a shit job where she hates her life and $1,000 a month would change her life, then yeah, actually you 100% do. But I'm assuming that the majority of us aren't in an actual like fight or flight mode. We're just kind of like young guys, probably living at home. More money would help us, but we won't actually die if we didn't like make more money. Is that the case for most people? Type 1 if it is. Yeah, like $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 will change your life, but like no one will actually be in any kind of physical emergency reasonably because of money. Of course, things can happen anyway, but for the majority of us, I'd assume that. This was the mindset that changed it all for me. Because when I was living in the apartment before I started making videos, here I am in this little apartment. Rent is pounds is 900 a month. I need money. Weed was just 200 to 300. I need money. Snacks, I don't know, 100 a month. Deliveries, food takeout and everything, extra 100, extra 200. I need money. And this made me a weak entrepreneur. Because when you're starting out and you're trying to just make money, it is weakness. It makes you short-sighted. Imagine trying to start a diet. Like, imagine you're a fat middle-aged woman, and imagine trying to start a diet when you're ravenously hungry. Is it gonna go well? Is it? What's like, you can imagine this type of woman right now. What's gonna happen? She's hungry. She's gonna eat. So congratulations, everyone who typed 1 before. You're a fat woman. You're genuinely no different. You're not that different from her. You're a fat woman who's trying to be on a diet. You're a broke guy who needs money, who acts like in this scarcity mindset towards money at this moment. So is it so difficult to think this is why you flip around from business model to business model? Who can relate to that? Business model to business model. Oh, Iman said I should do this one. Tate mentioned this one. Hamza said this one. Okay, I should do this bundle, maybe this one. Make some progress on this one. Oh no, this isn't working. Okay, next business model. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. Type 1 if you relate to that. Just flipping around. Maybe this idea. Or maybe it's this one. Maybe I should try this. Or, maybe this one here, YouTube. Okay, I'll do YouTube and I'll also do affiliate marketing. And then, I'll decide which one it is. This happens because you're just too obsessed with money. You're chasing the money, and money just keeps running away from you. Money's like a woman. It's like, if you chase it, if you need it, it's repulsive. She'll run away. So, I won't go into much detail about this concept of reducing these desires. We've literally just done 5 hours of willpower training, which is like a course. You can go find the recordings if you haven't seen that already. But what I would just like try it my way for some time. Try the equivalent of what I did when I lived in this apartment. These were all my expenses. And then I gave up everything and I moved back home to my family. Expenses went to zero. I didn't need money. That is when my entrepreneurship journey, that's when the results really started coming in. Not needing the money. That's when I became a strong entrepreneur. You know why? Because when I was up against other YouTubers, they needed to make money right now. I didn't. I'll just keep making better and better videos. I'd go on a one-to-one call with my fans every single day, multiple, for hours and hours a day to understand the kind of person I was trying to help. And I did it for free because I didn't need money. And this made me a ruthless, lethal entrepreneur YouTuber compared to everyone else because they needed to make money. And so for about 6 months straight, all I did was just delay gratification. Delay. Getting better and better and better and better and better. Not needing money. This right here, the equivalent for you of like moving back home with family. You might already be home with family, but there's like the next level of step that you can take to minimize your expenses at this point and with a mindset of not needing money. Can you visualize what that might be for you? What is the equivalent for you of like me moving back home? Maybe, for example, you're already at home, you don't have high expenses, but it could be, for example, that you've got a bunch of money that's going out which doesn't need to. It could be just simply the mindset that you don't need money right now. It could be not saving up for the materialistic thing that you want. You want the newest AirPods just because, I mean, the sound quality is better, but it's because they look different and you might get some more validation there. Useless subscriptions I keep forgetting to cancel. Subscription seems to be a big one. This isn't about like penny pinching. There's a phrase which is penny wise, pound foolish. And this refers to the people who, for example, they'll skimp out on small expenses. They'll literally go and get onto customer service with Netflix to try and get the last like $7 back that went out or something. You know what I mean? But for example, they don't know how to make more money. You don't want to be skimping. You don't want to be going to the shop that's so much further away that it takes an extra 2 hours out of your time. Or for example, let's say you don't want to go to the grocery store to buy your groceries just to save on the delivery bill if you just buy them at home. Do you know what I mean? You still want to be wise with your time and everything. But certainly one of the biggest ones for young people, which is why I suggest young people not to move out just yet, is just renting. Anyone here rent? Type 1 if you pay for rent, and type 2 if you live at home with family and you don't actually have to pay. Maybe you do give them like $100 or something, but for the guys typing 2, that's very, very powerful. Very powerful. Having experienced the difference myself, and also, of course, knowing that the freedom you get away from family, who can be a bit toxic, and the space you get, the validation, the feeling of being mature. Those things are very nice when you have your own rented apartment. But if you want to be a lethal entrepreneur, it's very difficult to do it when you're paying $400, $500, $1,000 for rents. So I want to tell you about what real financial power is, because I've not actually heard anyone talk about this, and this would be very, very valuable. Financial power. What I'm about to tell you is not sexy. This will not get me viral on YouTube if I speak about this lifestyle. But this is, in my belief, the best lifestyle for me to recommend to you, and it's one of financial power. What we'll do is first, I'll actually tell you the opposite of that, which is financial weakness. We'll just say, okay, that's financial weakness. Anyone know what I'm going to say for financial weakness and for financial power? Anyone? Let's say for financial weakness. What would be financial weakness? What is the kind of lifestyle? Perfect. Yeah, perfect answers. Debt is the single biggest one. We can also be like smart asses and say that there are actually some forms of debt where you can actually make a lot of money. It's an intelligent move, but that's like some high level game that I don't think we're at. So we'll say, in general, the debt that we're going to get into at this age is very bad. The debt that most people get into is very bad as well. It's just that once you get to like millionaire or billionaire status, you can actually use debt in like a smart way where you'll actually make money and everything. But debt is a huge one. And this, fuck me, let me tell a little story. So this apartment which I drew, these expensive, this was actually shared between me and the girl that I was dating then. And this was a girl that I was with for 3 years, so a very long time. When you're like 21 years old, that's literally more than like 15% of your life, which is huge. And I lived with her for years and years, right? And I won't shit talk her, but she just had such a bad fucking trait with her family of getting into like low quality consumer debt. Like they would use these like random shitty websites. Like I remember one of them was called Very, which you can just go and order like, like, I don't know, furniture and clothes and, just like consumer stuff. Like this is what happens when someone doesn't feel like love in their life, they'll go onto sites like this just for like hours a day and just get dopamine from them. And you don't need to pay for any of it. They'll just charge your future self instead. Think about that. I want this today. I want this dopamine today. I don't want to pay for it. I can't afford it. My future self will pay for it for me. The ultimate form of instant gratification, of like the antithesis of self-improvement, is this kind of debt. Where it's not just that we're hurting our current selves today. It's that we're literally saying, okay, my future self, you pay for me today. Think about how fucked that is. Buying something today, which is like stupid, right? But let's say, okay, you buy some TV or something. That's already bad enough, right? But imagine literally saying to your future self, you pay for it. This is what she was doing. And no offense to her. She was actually like a kind woman as well, so whatever. But if we just go to the checkout, I wonder if we can just like see it. Oh yeah, the space gray and like, oh yeah, the 4-year insurance. Yeah, that sounds awesome. And then, upsell. Okay, yeah, let's get this. We need to get this adapter as well, honey. Yeah, let's go. Oh wow, yeah, got AirPods, man. Yeah, sure. Like, I gotta get insurance as well. Okay, came on here to buy like a laptop to. Just in case you lose it. Just in case you lose. Get one for your brother as well. Come on. Oh, the third gen. You've only got the second gen. Okay, you get the point. You came on here for a laptop to study with, and before you know it, your bag's what is it? 1,300. Oh, you can pay with pay later, eh? Flexible payment options. 42 point. Does anyone know what this means? By the way, representative 42.9% APR. Does anyone know the one word explanation for what this is? Interest. This is how the people at the lower rungs of society get fucked over. Because not only, let's say it's $1,300 that they've just bought. Not only that, their future self has to pay interest on it. And if they're late on that interest, which people like this usually are, that stacks up a lot. So debt is the best example of financial weakness, but it's not even that much. It's one word would really just solve all this. It's just materialism. This is financial weakness. If we do a little case study, no offense to these guys, but I do want to show you like real examples, and we go like, okay, take Bugatti. Oh, fancy car. Oh, what color is your Bugatti, bro? Oh, nice meme, bro. Take Dubai. He stayed on the lake or something. Oh wow, okay, that's his 20 million penthouse. Whoa, that's crazy. Okay, Eman's penthouse, 50k a month. Oh, there's his Cape Town one. There's his Dubai one there. Yeah, 50k a month there. Oh, nice, amazing. What else? I wonder if we can even see. It'd take me too long to go find it on YouTube. But like the one that I stayed in Dubai, 10K a month. These things actually make you weak. You know why? This isn't to say that those men are weak. Those are quite strong men, but I think they are off center. The reason why is because the reason why you get these things is only for ego. It's only for status. That's the only reason why. It's because someone might turn their head towards you a little bit and be like, oh, wow, nice. Oh, 50K a month. Oh, wow, Bugatti. Nice, nice, nice. That's it. That's it. Now, if you're a big fan of the architecture, and that means, who the fuck? Do you know what I mean? There's no one buying, like, renting some, like, fancy Airbnb thinking, oh, yeah, the architecture is really nice. Good guys with cars like to say this, like, oh, no, but the cars are really, like, the exhaust engine's really good, man. I like to fuck it sometimes. Like, no, you don't care that much about, like, the car specs. It's the fact that it's seen as a good car. That's what makes it special. And you can have these things, right? You can have these toys. 100% you can. But you've got to admit this is weakness. This is just weakness. Because the opposite side of this, it's not, in a silly example, I could show you that, like, the opposite side, financial mattress. Like, financial strength. It's like just a mattress on the floor, like, dirty room. Like, yeah, I don't need money, bro. This is us. Yeah, I don't want to play the rat race anyway, bro. Tate's financially weak anyway, bro. Like that. Yeah, I don't care about making money, bro. That's not necessarily the opposite side of this. It's actually a quote, and Alex Becker will say it better than I will. If I go and find it right now, I think that'll be strong. I wonder if it is a recent tweet that I saw, or maybe it's one which is... I'll try and look for it for like 10 seconds if it is here. If not, I'll just encapsulate it myself. I don't know. Maybe it's like an old one I saw. Oh, here we are. If you make a lot of income and live a luxury lifestyle, you are not wealthy. If your low-risk assets generate you passively enough to live a luxury lifestyle, you are wealthy. Take your income, put it into low-risk investments, and live off the dividends that comes with that. Summary: if it requires work, much risk, or is not renewable, it is not wealth. This is the life that's being sold to you by these influencers. It's this sort of like high income, high expense, burning bridge lifestyle. The bridge is burning, but as long as you keep... what's a good analogy for this? Anyone go on? As long as you can keep, like, sort of staying afloat, you're fine. This is like the lifestyle that's being sold to you. It's like it's a sinking ship, but you've got a bucket and you're working super hard to pour the water out. It's kind of like that. And, it looks like a good life. You get likes on Instagram. This is, it's a pretty good like. Girls will message you first. That's kind of nice. High income, high expenses. The bridge is burning. Stress is at an all-time high. Happiness is at an all-time low. Leon said it really well there. Paycheck to paycheck 2.0. Saving someone from drowning, but drowning alongside them. Very much so. This is weakness. There's levels, far, far higher levels above this. And this isn't to say that you can't go and buy some things that you like. It's just that this is what's unfortunately validated these days. You will get more shallow people who are acting friendly to you if you live life this way, where when you make money, you spend it. You will I want to prepare you for that because you are on a fantastic pursuit. More shallow people will validate you. Not when you make more money. They don't give a shit about that. That number in your bank account doesn't mean anything to a girl, to brain dead women. It's when you are spending it. So when the income comes in, you spend it, you will get a lot of validation. You will get a lot of likes on Instagram. You will get, people turning their heads, asking you about the car, the clothes, everything. It takes strength to a level that many men don't have. As you've seen, strong men don't have this, where the income comes in and the expenses stays exactly the same. I have not had this strength for a very long time, so I don't blame anyone for not having that. Financial power is still when you're making a lot of money, but it's when you don't spend that much of it. It's when your expenses are quite low. It's when you invest this money into like low risk things. It's when like this, you get off this burning bridge and you look at it and think how foolish you were for just being stood on it. It's having, for example, a 2 to 5K a month apartment, but you make 100K a month, even more. And again, this is like some people are saying like, oh, but like, what do you spend your money on? What was the money for? Because it's a fantastic question. I had to take a few seconds there. Some people asked, oh, but what do you spend the money on? Type in one word. What is the money for? Family, freedom, status, freedom, learning, survival, learning, freedom, 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 freedom. The money was for freedom, and people trade that away. People trade their, like, at first you make the money for the freedom. Then you watch the red pill influencers and you literally trade your freedom for more money. This is, again, the concept that I've been revealing. Like, all these guys in Dubai, they're not free. They have to be there for like a certain number of months per year. How the fuck is that free? And you might think, oh, well, I'd kind of enjoy it. It won't be too bad. If you have to be in a country, you are not free, no matter how much money you're making. The money was for freedom. These things take away from your freedom. That video I've just shared, the Alex Becker one, if you go and see on Adonis School, I shared a video today. He talks about when you buy all of these things, the big house, the car, the watch, they take your freedom away to levels that you don't even like comprehend. When you buy the fancy car and suddenly it breaks down, and that's like such an annoying life experience. It's not as good to drive as the one that doesn't get you as much status. But you don't want to drive the shitty car anymore, do you? Because you make a lot of money, you're a big shot now. The big house, like the big house, you need multiple maids. Constantly, there's just randomers in your house. The smartest people are talking about this. Alex Hormozi and his wife, Layla Hormozi, they just spoke about, they had a massive house as well. And it was getting so, like they just said, it was so weird that they just had strangers in the house almost every day, fixing things, cleaning things. The pool guy's here, or the guys come to fix the garage. These things are taking away from your freedom. You buy the big house, you've got to be there on Sunday when that guy comes in to fix the gate. You can't walk around naked. Jerome said that, and that's honestly a really good point. You can't walk around naked anymore. You got the fancy car and someone dings it. Now you got to go to the specific dealer shop that's 50 miles away. You got to go fix that stuff. These, like, when you think about it, these things weren't actually going to improve your life quality. We know that your life quality comes entirely from like your mental and physical realms, your social life and things. We know that the house, like a fancy house, like having a roof over your head gives you a life quality. A better house doesn't. Having a car that can get you to your job will increase your life quality. A better car doesn't increase your life quality. Having clothes to cover over your body and stay warm will absolutely increase your life quality. Having more expensive clothes that gets you more status in front of people that you don't even like doesn't increase your life quality. And yet we will literally trade our freedom for these things. Because money is freedom points. That's a good quote. Money is freedom points. Imagine spending your freedom points for this. Next time you're about to like think of a purchase, go on and say that to yourself. Yeah, I'm going to spend some of my freedom points on this object, which I kind of know is not going to really change anything in my life. So the lifestyle that I think we can't go wrong with is one in where we first destroy the need for money. Second, we destroy the need for like material objects, the status-seeking objects, and we live more of this like minimal sort of stoic life. You know, many of the guys here are into stoicism, right? Type 1, if you like the idea of stoicism, of being this strong man, mentally and physically. Because, you know, when all these influencers are talking about strong men, strong men, strong men. Well, how do you think that encapsulates? It's not needing objects. You're not a strong man if you have a fancy car. You're a strong man if you literally fucking walk to work. So I'd like you to almost foresee that this could be the future for you in terms of like your financial success. You can make a lot of money and just not even spend it. Because let's say you've got unlimited money right now. For some time you will go and spend it. Everyone will. I have, right? I don't have unlimited money, but you'll go and enjoy these things. Just think about this right now. You've got unlimited money, but you've got a stoic mindset. You're on self-improvement. You're actually a man of character. You don't really give a fuck about that sort of random degenerate woman looking at you more. A random degenerate girl messages you on Instagram, you actually don't even care. Imagine that, right? But you've got unlimited money. You'll still go and experience these things, and maybe you should. But soon you'll actually realize, wait, hang on, like, these things don't add anything to my life at all. I've got unlimited money. I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't want to be in Dubai for 6 months a year. I don't want to go and get this fucking car fixed again. I want to be in my house by myself, able to take a nap whenever I want. But now I've got to go have a meeting with this tax advisor. Now there's maids in my house. I've got to get out of my bed and go somewhere else. You realize that these things that you thought were going to add something to your life just take away. It's only with insecurity do these things seem good. It's only with your perception of your lack of status do these things seem good. If you were so much better than like these status objects, you'd have no consideration for them. The status object that a person buys and values just shows that that's currently the level that they're at. So if there's a guy showing you his watch saying, yeah, $10,000 watch, that's because it's kind of like, this is a little bit better than my perception of myself. But if you don't give a fuck about other people's like little games of them looking at you and thinking, oh wow, is that the G3 watch? Whoa, nice. Like, if you don't give a fuck about that, then you're free from that. And with that freedom comes the ability for you to go and spend your time how you want it. That is what money is for. Money is for freedom, for the ability to go spend your time however you want it, for the ability to control your routine. But when you need to go to the Bugatti dealership, you're only there because you want people to turn their heads. So what do? Instead of focusing on money, which even though is like, the topic of this this guide that we're on, this lecture, instead of focusing on money, first of all, destroy the need for it. Change your mindset to one where you don't even have much of a need for it. Almost with like a laughable level. Like this, if everyone looks at the chat, this message from Grayson encapsulates it perfectly. Keep your iPhone 4. That encapsulates it perfectly. Because just genuinely imagine the experience of life. You've kept your old phone, or you've got one. You keep buying the newest ones, the newest ones, the newest ones. Imagine your experience of life. Now, sure, okay, this guy's, his phone maybe crashes a little bit more. This guy's phone doesn't have one of the newest apps. And because of that, he's on his phone for 2 hours less per day. Whose life quality is better? He's got the newest apps. Oh, wow, wow. Oh, nice. Have you got that app, bro? Oh, whoa, have you got the new iPhone, bro? They don't even have the face camera thing anymore. Whoa, nice, man. Okay, 2+ hours on your phone because it's so nice. Congratulations. Now you've got mild depression. Okay, you're rich. You make more money with the nice phone because it's better for technology. Yeah, sure. And here you are with more symptoms of fucking mental disorder. Slightly more. Not much, but slightly more. Likewise, anyone watch the videos where I've explained why I didn't buy a car for a very long time and I kept my bike? Type 1 if you know that story. Because there's a story I've told it on a few random videos, so I don't know if many will know. I'll tell it very quickly. In 2021, halfway through, I started making 10K a month, and I've never went below that. And I still took my little shitty bicycle everywhere. Everywhere. With a helmet on as well. Literally with like a low status helmet that my brother got me. Here I am. I took that everywhere. My expenses at 10K a month were £700 a month. 7%. And most of this was literally just my kickboxing because I was getting like one-to-one sessions as well. That was it. Most of that was just that. Some of it was like food because I didn't want to cook, which I think is a really good expense, right? I drove this everywhere. 15K a month, 20K a month. And my kickboxing instructor would always like laugh and give me a sign of respect. Because he'd have this respect for me. And he said it once, like, most people your age would go get a car on finance at this point. Oh, have you still got that broken down bike? And he'd laugh about it. Because I didn't even explain this, right? The bike was broken. The bike was actually broken. It would consistently get popped tires. The brakes would touch the front tire. Like, imagine that, right? Imagine you've got a bike where the brake is already touching the front tire. Do you know what happens with that? It's like you're fucking riding the bike with the brake on. It's so hard to ride it. And the wheel would go flat and it would squeak as well, right? It would, when I'd press the brake, I'd need to brake, whatever. It would squeak like this high pitch, like, really, really loud. Sounds kind of like, oh, silly, whatever. But guess what? Every single time that happened, I would smile of how like silly it was. And I was the only person in 1 mile, 2 mile, 5, 10 mile radius smiling whilst they commute. Think about that. I would cycle past tons of people in their cars every single time I'd be out. I would never see one single person smiling inside of their car. They had much better cars than me. It was interesting because inside of my own mind, I knew that I probably make more money than like all these people with fancy cars. But I would never see one person smile on the wherever commute they were going to. And here I was with a shitty $20 broken bike which squeaked. And it gave me a better life experience than the people who are slaving away and that they've got to pay $220 a month for their car finance. Buying cars, they can't even afford it. Just think about that. Because I think this experience, this story encapsulates a lot about our desire for money. Where in a weird, like, am I getting the point across well here? Where in a weird way, like, not spending money can make your life better significantly. Has anyone got their own, like, version of, like, the squeaky bike? Where it's, like, technically it's kind of, like, harder, it's more uncomfortable. But your life is actually better. Because everyone who was, even the guys who, let's say, they were going to kickboxing, they were less happy than I was. I was there in the cold, in the rain, listening to, like, David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. Thinking that, I like, this is amazing. I'm so proud of myself. And a few guys saying, you've got the same phone. Exactly that. You've got the same phone, don't care about it, you throw it around and everything, feels kind of like, it's almost funny how bad the phone is, and you throw it without caring about it, you drop it, and you're like, no, well, of course it still works. And when you think about all the anxious, jittery people who keep buying the newest iPhones, And they're like, oh man, the newest app doesn't work, and oh, have you got this one? Oh, you need to go get the other one. We've got 10 minutes left. Just excuse me, I've got to put my phone on charging because I've got the points on that. Does that not encapsulate the freedom? Not caring. You're on the bike with a massive smile on your face. Who's more free? The guy on the bike, the shitty bike, or the guy with the fancy car? He bumps into it and there's a $30,000 fee to go get it replaced. Well, of course, if you've got a fancy car, it costs a lot to fix, to get a new bonnet or anything. It costs a lot. And you can't just go to any old dealership to get it fixed. You've got to go take it to the one which is in the next city over. And here you are, like, oh man, I've got to go either take it myself or organize it. Interesting, Grayson's really good question there. Aren't you going to spend a lot more money like fixing a crappy car that keeps breaking? Interestingly, it kind of works the other way around. This is like the case of the Nokia. Some of the older things last a lot longer and they give you like a better experience. You don't get the fancy new apps and everything. But there's you can imagine a few old, somewhat low status cars. They're not going to turn people's heads or anything, but you're not going to get any problems with them. But these supercars, you're going to get a lot of problems with them. And obviously, my example is a little bit, it's just supposed to be an example. You can actually be logical and think, wait, if your bike is uncomfortable to use, if it breaks down and it's too slow to use and you'll save 10 minutes every single day, then it could be worth getting, a better bike, which doesn't feel like the brake is pressing on it. 100%, that's a good point. But it's just you get the example of, you can have the cheaper thing and the cheaper thing can actually give you a better life quality. And even Octavian, you've said, okay, what if you just took a taxi everywhere instead of having a car or having the bike? Really think about your life experience in that. Think about the life experience of you being sat at the back of a taxi, just sat there in silence. Just what are you doing? Oh yeah, you can meditate, bro. But you're just gonna be on your phone pointlessly or something. Comparing that to actually riding out in the rain and feeling like a disciplined badass. There was a really good point I wanted to end off with. Please. So what is my advice for you? Yeah. Destroy the needs for money. And focus on flow plus your people. We'll expand on this in the next class. I'll give you a few minutes of it, like a taster here. Once you stop this incessant obsession with making money, as honestly I'd assume most of the guys here have currently got, you want to make money, you want to make money, you want to get subs and views and stuff. Once you're able to slightly destroy that, that's when you can not to fulfill it. Sorry, not to fulfill the desire for money, but rather to destroy the desire for it, specifically the desire, because the need for it is never gonna be fulfilled. If there's guys who are making 10 million a year and they still feel like they need more money, you can't ever imagine that this is gonna be a genuine physical thing. Does that make sense? It's you've seen the guys who are making a lot of money online, right? And they still need more. So this is a fucking rat race, even for the guys who seem like they're not in the rat race. They're just the king of the rats. That's it. They're just the king of the rats. Because they're still in the same race. If you need more money, then you're still a rat. You're still in, you're not in a 9 to 5, so fine. but you're still in the matrix. You're still in the rat race. If you need money, that you absolutely are still stuck there. And don't ever think that your need for money will go away at some certain amount of income, because that is what everyone thinks, and everyone is disproven. Your need for money will not go away with a certain amount of income. It will go away with you using willpower to destroy this desire and understanding that your status won't be as high, but your freedom will double or triple or 10x. If right here, right now, be honest, type 1, anyone here think that, oh yeah, but okay, but when I just make a certain amount, that's when I'll stop caring about money as much. Right? There's a really good quote I like. Greed moves goalposts. Everyone who typed 1, that's exactly what your life is going to be. Greed moves goalposts. You will never get to a point where you're like, yep, okay, sweet, done. Yep, don't need any more money. You will never get to that point naturally. There will never be a point when you look at your bank statement and it'll be like, yep, that's enough. The answer to how much money do you want, there's only one word that pretty much everyone will only ever answer with: more. That's it. More. Just move the goalposts. Stay on this rat race, this little cycle. Destroy the desire for it. And this is the weird part, right? Because you know what I'm advising you to do? You're actually going to make a lot more money if you do this. Because when you destroy this insecure scarcity mindset around money, that's when you'll begin to act like a better, lethal entrepreneur. That's when your business will compete against other entrepreneurs and you'll destroy them because you don't need to cash out right now. Imagine being a YouTuber and you don't even need to sell your audience a product right now. This makes you lethal. I'm so bad at spelling, bro. Oh my God. This makes you lethal. This makes you a lethal entrepreneur, YouTuber, student, whatever it is. When you're not outcome dependent, when you're not trying to profit a lot from your business, and rather you are doing it for the flow state and your people, which I'll explain soon, that's what makes you a stronger entrepreneur. And guess what? Stronger entrepreneurs make a lot more money. So in a weird way, by saying fuck you to money, you'll make a lot more money. Because when you cross out money and you tick flow state and you tick your people, this is where the $1 billion entrepreneurs are made. Just wait till I'll start this in the next the next part. It won't be tomorrow because I've got my surgery, maybe the day afterwards if I'm feeling okay after it. That's when I'll explain flow plus your people. Any questions on this? We've got about 90 seconds. Yeah, I'm speaking to David Data tomorrow as well, doing his masterclass. How can you deal with your ego? That's a very good question. I'm certainly not qualified to even teach that because I've still got a massive ego. I think ultimate level is like ego death, which you'll experience at some deep level of flow and spirituality. At some of the lower levels, I just explained, to deal with your ego right now, just mindsets. Literally just like, for example, you just listening today and kind of understanding this and how much I've been talking ill of seeking status with your purchases. Your egos went down. If you've accepted that message and you're thinking, yeah, you know what? Trading my freedom for some degenerate girl to like me on Instagram or something isn't worth it. I've got more respect for myself. Suddenly your egos went down. Thinking to yourself, you know what? Actually, Hamza made a good point with the Nokia and the shitty cars. Some guys mentioned Hondas or Toyotas or something. Kind of makes more sense to actually get one of those. I kept in mind a fancy car, but it kind of makes more sense. The money for me is for freedom, and if there's a car which doesn't get me as much status, but it means that I never have to go to the garage to get it fixed, then maybe I'll consider that. Then that's lowering your ego. We're gonna end it there. In our next lecture, I'm going to dive deep into this. And if you really want to make money, this is the way how. And this is going to be It's very interesting because you just need to like trust the judgment of. You need to let go in a very spiritual sense. It's like the thing that you fear, which for example is staying broke. You need to let go of that fear, let go of the desire of making money, and that is how you make more money. That's like to love a woman more. You've got this fear of what if she cheats on you, what if she does this, but it's when you let go of that fear, that's when she loves you more. So it's a very like counterintuitive way to go about things, but I actually do think this is going to be life changing for you. Next lecture we have, I'll make a post if it's going to be tomorrow or the day after or something, and we'll continue on this lecture on how to make money. Nice one, boys. W in the chat. Have a great rest of your day. Mwah.